Hello, welcome to Board Games with Niramas. Today it's time to do some top 5 cards for Terraforming Mars, and today we have come to the action cards, as I like to call them. They are, of course, the blue cards that has an action on them, in difference from the effect cards that we went through earlier. So once again, I want to point out that I haven't done any computer simulation where I figured out, in mathematical way which cards are the best one to win this game. That would be hard, I guess, to do. It's more about cards that I like. Personally, I like to have them. I like to take them, and I will also explain when I would like to have them in the game. So let's just jump straight into it and go to my number 5. So my number 5 when it comes to action cards, that is Caretaker Contract. This one is of course situational based because first of all it only costs 3, but it takes it has to be it's a late game card, in game card I was going to say, and then I said late at the same time. I don't know. So you have to wait a bit before you can play it. But what it does is you get the action to spend 80 to increase your terraforming rating 1 step, which is pretty much the same thing, well, sort of the same thing that you do when you increase the heat. You get the TR rating, right? But here, this is so nice because in some games, this game can vary a lot, but I think in most multiplayer games that I play this, usually we get the heat up all the way up here before we get all the oceans out and all the oxygen up. So you have sort of some generations, a few, where you're stuck up here. Nobody can get any TR that way, but if you have Caretaker Contract, then you can do it. You're the only one that can do it. And especially, if you're going for a heat strategy, you get a lot of heat, you get that up fast, you want to have this one so that you're sure that you can do something with your heat. Well, of course, you can go for thermalist out here, or you can also get, I don't remember the name of it, but there's an event card, I think, that lets you transform heat production into credit production. That one is nice as well. I don't think I put it on my list, but anyway, so Caretaker Contract, it's a nice one. I always want to get this one if I can, and if it's the right time for it, of course. If I get it really early and I don't think that I will go for a lot of heat and all that, maybe I'll skip it. But Caretaker Contract is my number 5. So for my number 4, this one is a bit more also, all these cards are a bit situational based, basically. Steelworks costs 15 credits. It's you can build it with steel. What it does is you can spend 4 energy to gain 2 steel and increase oxygen 1 step. Now, if you're not going for a lot of plants and so on, then your way to increase oxygen might be by one of these cards. This one comes in a few variants as well. There's one that you can do the same thing, but instead you get titanium, and so there's a few. I think there's like 3 different variants on this one. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But anyway, it's nice. You get some steel, or the other one. I would say that one is just as good. That you get titanium and oxygen. It depends on what you need actually. So Steelworks, or the other one that I can't recall the name of, but it does the same thing. But of course you need to have, the only way to spend 4 energy is to have 4 energy production. There's no other way to get 4 energy because it will go over to heat right at the end of the round generation. So you need to have 4 in energy production, but I think you can manage that most of the time, depending on what cards you get and so on, of course. But Steelworks, that's my number 4. Okay, so my number 3 when it comes to action cards, as I like to call them, it's the AI Central. And this is very specific, of course. You need to have 3 science tags to even play it. It gives you a science tag though. You can use steel to build it. It costs 21, which is kind of much if you don't want to get this too late, but you can't get it too early either because you have to have those science tags first. So this is sort of a tricky card to find the perfect spot for, but somewhere in the middle of the game. You have to lower your energy production 1 step. That's not a big deal. You get a point as well, which is never bad. But the main thing is you can do the action of draw 2 cards. You just draw 2 cards for free. That is so good. There's other versions of this sort of where there's one where you pay 2 credits to draw 1 card and so on. But this one, just draw 2 cards for free. That is just so good. That is just so amazing. You can find that card that you really need. And yeah, it can save you a lot of money as well, since you don't have to buy that many cards as you would usually, because you get free cards here. So yeah, that's AI Central, and that's my number 3. Okay, so my number 2 card. This one is a bit special as well. All of these are. This is the Electro Catapult, max 8% oxygen. So this is a bit tricky. You have to do this in the first half of the game or so. Cost 17 credits. You can use steel there as well with the building tag. And you have to decrease energy production. You get a point. All that is good. And also, you can spend 1 plant or 1 steel to gain 7 credits. I mean, that might not sound that much, but let's say you find some, maybe you have 1 in plant production. You're not really going for plants. And then it's going to take 8 generations to even get a greenery out, right? So then instead you can start selling your plants. That's really nice. Or you can sell your steel, because you might not have the cards needed to even use the steel at that point. So having this one gives you so many options. It lets you diversify in such way. If you have a situation where you don't need a plant, you need the money, you can do that. And steel, normally steel is worth 2, right? And you have to have the right tag for it as well. So getting 7 is quite a lot. So Electro Catapult, that is my number 2. And for my number 1, this also goes a bit back to my solo plays. If you have watched them, you're going to recognize this card for sure, because it really helped me out in the solo plays. But I think it's a good card, also in multiplayer, and it's Regolith Eaters. Regolith Eaters costs 13 credits. It has a science tag and a microbe tag, and what it does is it's an action to add 1 microbe to this card, or to do the action and remove 2 microbes and then raise oxygen 1 step. This one works really well together with another card that I forgot the name of it, but there's not an action card that lets you add the microbes to another card, which is this one in this case, and then you can remove them from here to increase the oxygen. But just by itself, it's really nice. It only takes, 1, 2, 3, or every 3 generations you get increased oxygen. So this is a really nice one, and it's one that I really look for in a solo game. But even in a multiplayer game, of course, I like to have this one, especially if I can combo it with other cards. There's also event cards to let you add microbes onto 1 card that you already have, and so on. So Regolith Eaters, you are my favorite action card for Terraforming Mars. And so thank you so much for watching this top 5 list. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will be back soon with another one of these top 5 things, something that has to do with Terraforming Mars. So thank you so much. Have a great evening or morning, or whenever you're watching this. Take care. Bye bye.
Do you want to keep this little dragon this happy all day long? Then like the video. Board Games with Niramas is sponsored by Alara Games in Sweden.